town of Easton sits just north of the split between routes 24 and 495. After seeing our show, you'll understand how it got the nickname of Shoveltown. We're with Kurt Libby at the All Town Fresh in Easton. Thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure.
And Kurt is the chef here at the All Town Fresh location. So tell us how long this All Town Fresh has been here?
So this All Town Fresh has been here for about 2.5 years. I've been here since November, so I'm relatively new to the company, but
Okay.
I've been loving every minute of it.
Oh, excellent. And what did you do before that?
So before this, I worked for more corporate places. Previous to this, I actually worked at a local college as the chef there.
Oh, excellent. So tell me a little bit about the menu here.
So our menu here, as we like to say, we're chef-driven. We're plant-focused. We try to source as organically as possible, locally sourced, humanely raised meats. We really just try to minimize our impact on the environment and the world.
Excellent. And why is that important to you?
It's important to me because, future generations need to have this planet as well. And we want to make sure that we try to minimize our footprint on things and still make the best food possible.
Absolutely. So what do you have a special this month?
Yeah, we have an Italian sausage sub special, and we also have a maple sausage breakfast sandwich special. So we've been really kind of seeing a lot of great success and a lot of happy guests from that.
That's excellent. And so breakfast, you have breakfast sandwiches, and what else do you have? Smoothies?
We do. We have smoothies, we have breakfast sandwiches, we do a lot of really unique sort of fun things. We have vegan options, we have vegetarian options.
Oh, great.
Something for everyone.
So tell me a little bit about your coffee.
Our coffee is delicious. It's locally roasted out of Windsor, Connecticut. And we use a special bean to cup system, which brews every cup fresh as you order it. So
really? So it's not sitting there cooking for hours?
Nope. Every cup is ground, brewed, and into your cup within a minute.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to try the coffee. I'm sure Marcia can't because she's a coffee fiend.
Awesome.
So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay. Let's try this. That's a good decaf. Love it.
We're here with Ashley Douglas at the Farmer's Daughter. And Ashley, tell me, first of all, how long has the Farmer's Daughter been here?
Well, we actually just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in June. So in restaurant world, that's about 1 million years.
Wow. What kind of food does Farmer's Daughter have for breakfast? We'll start with breakfast.
For breakfast, well, our main focus is farm to table local food. So we are really passionate about working with local farmers and other purveyors. And so we kind of stick to seasonality and whatever we can get locally. For breakfast food, our signature dish is our chicken and waffle Benedict. It walks that line of sweet and savory. So that's really what we sell the most of. You're going to have that?
That's wonderful.
Good choice.
Good choice. So that's a big choice.
Yes.
I can see you're quite busy. And are you open how many days a week?
We are open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. until 3 p.m.
And do you have a lunch menu also?
We have lunch menu, and we have lunch and breakfast from open until close. So if you want a burger at 8 a.m., you can do that. If you want an Eggs Benedict at 3 p.m., we can do that as well. We're certainly more breakfast focused, and our lunch menu is limited but delicious. So
very good. And what's your popular time?
Our popular time, Sundays at 10 a.m. That's when everybody wants to eat, So Saturdays and Sundays are definitely the busy times, but it can be busy every day of the week. Just depends.
Anything that I've left out that you would like to share?
Yeah, well, along with our great food, we do have a full bar available. So if you want to get mimosas, Bloody Marys, we have a nice craft cocktail list available. So that's always a nice addition to your breakfast.
That is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd make it through the rest of the day, but
I know,
yes, that
it's
sounds
that
a good one.
balance of, what you can do.
Very
but.
good. All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, beautiful. Well, thank you. We're so excited to have you here.
Great.
We're here today with Ken Michael, and he's the president of the Easton Historical Society. Thank you for meeting with us today. So we'd like to know the history of the town. When did people first settle here? When was it incorporated?
Well, the town was incorporated in 1725, but before it was incorporated as a town, there were settlers here in the area. The Wampanoag Indian tribes were the original inhabitants of the general area. It started in 1725, mainly a farming community.
Okay.
Later, with the advent of Mr. Oliver Ames, who started a blacksmith shop and later tool and other implements, which evolved into a shovel company. And that turned the town into more of an industrial center. The history of the town is very much intertwined with the Ames Shovel and Tool Company. It was the largest employer, although it was not the only major industry in the town. The Ames family, Oakes Ames, who was a congressman during the Lincoln administration and after, and his brother Oliver were part of the East investment group that built the Transcontinental Railroad.
Okay.
From east to west. One of the Ames family was governor of the state of Massachusetts, and then, as I said earlier, Oakes Ames was a congressman. There were a number of other political. Most recently, John Ames was a representative from this district, which included Milton and Easton and other in the general area, Dedham, I believe.
So what do you have here at the museum? What kind of a range of, is it mostly later history, or do you have things that go way back to the Wampanoag?
Well, let me say it this way. The station's divided into two parts. It used to be males on that side, women on this side. However, we put industry on that side, cultural and athletics on this side. We've divided it up over the last few years. We're still a work in progress, let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. And but on the men's side, or the industrial history side, we have a variety of examples of tools from the Ames Shovel and Tool Company. We actually have one of the very first motor cars made here in the United States, or excuse me, in the state of Massachusetts. I shouldn't say the United States, but in the state of Massachusetts, which was, this particular car was never sold. It's called the Morse car, and it was a prototype for the later cars. Right over here we have the oldest window, or reputed to be the oldest window in Easton, was built sometime, made sometime in roughly the 16th century and imported here from England. Mm-hmm. We have artwork, some of which depicts actual scenes here in Easton. And then, of course, we have athletic paraphernalia here of all kinds. We actually have a whole lot of that. And if you look to my left, there's a room over here. We have a tremendous number of maps, photographs, different kinds of implements. There's a set of scales in there. Various town and educational kinds of registration booklets. It runs the gamut of everything from everyday domestic items all the way up to various industrial types of items.
Okay, we're here with Ian Dunbar at the Quessett House.
Yes.
And tell us the history of this beautiful place.
Quessett House was built in the 1830s as a private residence. The most famous one, and the one that the library promotes, would be about a century later with Winthrop Ames, lived here in the 1930s. He was a Broadway producer, so he would summer here, and we would bring his friends and colleagues and enjoy the garden next door with a stage and pergola and put on fun little shows. So then it transferred around some AIM members and other organizations since then. And the library acquired it about a decade ago, around 2010. And we opened it to the public in 2014. But we use it for events and meeting spaces. So when the building is open, anyone can just come in and enjoy the rooms. And we use it for our own library programming as well. So I'll show you a couple rooms where we have a nice projector screen that you can connect to give your presentations, and our own audiovisual equipment to assist with those, as well as people can just come in and study. It was originally inspired by digital media labs and maker spaces from other libraries across the country and Canada. So originally some of the funds were devoted to that. Upstairs, which I'll show you, we have a small computer lab and a room devoted to crafting and making. I would say, unfortunately, at this point, a lot of the technology needs to be updated, but it is still there and it's still the use, and it's still it was the original focus of what the library do with it, a place for come in and not for users to kind of gather information like you would from a traditional book, but to actually create something and share their information and talents to the rest of the community. This is our podcasting studio. William Ames is a member of the library's board of trustees, who donated some funds for the hardware in here, and some of them were, we had a lot of assistance with the local Easton cable access television in getting the equipment. Mind the giant whiteboard that we have to store in between meetings, otherwise it takes room.
Wow, look at this for a library.
Yep, so you can come in, reserve time online, because generally all the rooms are just open to the public anytime, but in here you're obviously going to want to shut the door and have a little bit of privacy. So you can reserve your time online. It is for podcasting, so as you see, we have multiple microphone setups for it, and there are some, again, written instructions and links to online tutorials that we have available. The idea, like everything else in the building, is that you're learning and you're creating on your own. Unfortunately, we don't really have the staff to really sit down and work with people. We had volunteers in the past, but we don't have one dedicated right now. But the instructions are very detailed. As I said, if I'm able to record something, anyone can do it. But what I always thought was neat is there was a couple of gentlemen who actually came in and used the equipment to make an audio version of a book they wrote together.
Oh.
So they didn't actually have to pay a studio and recording time and get it out. They just did it themselves in here and had a nice file for it. I always thought it was a very clever idea for the equipment we had. But the back half of the third floor we actually have set up for a author in residency. Because it was originally a house, there is a bedroom and a living room and a kitchen and full bath up there.
Of course, a bath and full bath and kitchen upstairs. What more to get?
So we do have artists and authors come for a week or a month or what have you, to work in a new environment away from their normal troubles, and they will provide the library a talk or a workshop while we're here.
And then they're able to use the place by doing that.
Yes.
So you get artists in residence?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's interesting. Very nice. Okay.
So this was originally the basement of the library. Back in 2009, it was renovated to expand, so we have more space. And we made this the main entrance for that and for accessibility reasons as well. But we use it, to house our collections, fiction, DVDs. Through there we have our teen den, a space for teens to browse books, but also just unwind and relax. There's another Nintendo console in there, a table with some markers.
Wow, you've really done a nice job for
Thank you.
all ages.
The wolves are out there waiting for their next little wander towards their trickery and lies. Don't go near to stay alive.
We're with Mark DeLuzio, and he is the owner of this beautiful music store, Mockingbird
Yes.
Music. Excellent. So tell us the history of the store. When did you open?
So Mockingbird officially opened in 2001.
Okay.
We had a small shop in downtown Mansfield. That was my second music business. I had a business prior to that in a different town. And we just kept growing, and eventually we had a large space over near the Xfinity Center. For 15 years we were there. And in 2020 we moved out of there and moved into this beautiful space. And this has been a great location because we are able to service, we're right on the cusp of 3 different towns. So it's great. So we have Norton, we have Mansfield, we have Easton, all connected right here. So.
Right. So you sell instruments.
We do.
What else do you do?
We do lots of lessons, lots of music lessons. We rent instruments, we repair them. We have a recording studio. We have a very active play in a band program for kids and adults. Right now we have 18 or 19 bands running every week.
Oh.
And it's a simple program where people come for an hour a week. They get a coach to coach them, and then at the end of 3 months, they put on a show on our stage out front.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a big part of our business. We're also professional sound engineers. I have a staff of 4 engineers. We go out and do sound reinforcement for theater companies and schools.
Okay.
So a little bit of everything related to music.
What else would you like to tell us about this store? Anything that we missed? Something?
So, you know, I was kind of like a dream of mine as a kid because I was inspired by our local music shop. And they really were very good to us as kids and took us in and sort of showed us how to do recording and how to play in a band and all that stuff. I said, I want to do this someday. So my idea for the business was to have a place that's everything that you could possibly want to do in music, regardless of your age, your level, your commitment level. If you come here and you want to do something in music, whether it's recording, or you want to learn to be a sound engineer, or you want to play drums, or you want to learn to sing, that's kind of where the business started. And the retail stuff just obviously feeds off of that. But it's really about the people. It's about making more musicians and making musicians happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
We love your shop.
Thanks.
We're going to look around a little bit and maybe hear a little bit of what the campers are doing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The wolves are out there waiting for their next meal to wander towards their trickery and lies. Don't go near to stay alive.
Okay, we're here at McGuire's with Neil Levine.
That's right.
And tell us about the history of this place.
So we've been here 30 years. June 6th, 1993 was the day we opened our doors.
Wow.
So I have 2 partners, Patrick and Michael, and the 3 of us have run the place for 30 years. And before that, we had worked together for 5 or 6 years, running Irish pubs. So we've been together, 36 years, something like that, and just slowly built the business and built the community, and, employees and reputation. And just, we don't really know what we're doing.
Now you
But
sound
we
like
show up
us.
every day. Like that's the secret. People say, what's the secret to success? First, you show up every day and you put a little bit of love into everything you do, and it all works out. That's the short history of McGuire's.
Okay, I like it. I like it. What do you feel are your specialties?
Our specialties, everything on the menu is delicious. I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
There isn't anything on this menu that I wouldn't eat. Now, we have favorites, things that people love. We're known for what's called a honey hot chicken tenderloin. They're sweet and they're spicy, just like you. So what those are, they're a boneless chicken tenderloin. And we marinate those for 24 hours in a secret marinade.
24 hours.
24 hours at least, minimum, in a secret marinade. Then we do a light breading. We fry them until they're just golden brown. Not too much, because you want to keep them moist on the inside. And then we toss them in our secret honey hot sauce, and we serve probably 1,000 pounds of those every week. When a baby is born in Easton, they start on mother's milk.
Right.
And as soon as they can handle solid food, we get them on the honey hots, and then they hook for life. And when they're 21, they have a Guinness. Our meats are great, our fish is great, our seafood's fresh every day. The baked haddock or our fish and chips, I put that up against any fish and chips or any haddock anywhere in New England, It's fresh, it's delicious, it's moist. It's, you know, when we fry it, it's golden brown. When we bake it, it's nice and moist. Absolutely great. The desserts are great. You know, the food is good. It's kind of like pub food, but a little bit higher.
Higher than regular
at another
pub,
level.
yeah.
And again, I say it's not rocket science. We show up every day. We give good food. We give big portions. We do the best I can. We serve it with a little bit of love.
And so do all of you, were you all chefs? How did you come up with the combination of the three of you that
So
became...
Patrick, myself, and Michael, we all work together in the pub. We're all front of the house guys. Between us, I mean, I've been in this business since I was 13, 14 years old. Started, you know, bussing tables, washing dishes, waiting tables, bartending, managing. My partner Patrick and my partner Michael are all the same. So I started when I was 14. I'm 60. I mean, do the math. It's like 40. I have like 40 something years experience, you know, and my partners are all the same. So between the three of us, there's, you know, over 100 years experience in the restaurant business. We're open 7 days a week.
Okay.
We close for Christmas. We close Christmas Eve at night. We're closed on Thanksgiving. We're closed on July 4th. We're closed on Easton, the family holiday. We close all the family holidays. Other than that, we're open unless it's really bad weather. In the old days, we would open, you know, no matter what. You know, it'd be myself and Michael working the grill, serving the snowplow drivers. And now it's a different world now, and you want to be safe. You want to take care of your people and make sure. You know, you got to put your people first. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put people first, whether it's a customer walking through the door. We want you to feel like you're home, like you're comfortable, like you're part of the family. We enjoy meeting, greeting, speaking with all our customers, learning about their lives, watching the kids grow up, you know, and, you know, the children of people that came here are coming here, and their grandchildren are coming here. And we have, you know, the children and the grandchildren of people that started working here. It's like, you know, I'll see like a young girl will come in, a young lady will come in, and she'll be a hostess, and her mother was a hostess here when she was in college, and now she's, you know, this girl, you know, it's like, just like your mother did, you know, and Michael Hine, without me telling me, and they'll walk in, I'll say, you're Mary Kate's daughter, you know, or your daughter's, you know, that type of stuff. It's wild. So it's like family.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you very much, and
My pleasure.
I understand why people recommended we come here.
Thank you.
So,
I hope you enjoy
thanks.
your lunch.
I'm with Nicole Casper, and she is the Director of Archives here at Stonehill College at the, is it called the Shovel Museum, or?
Pretty much, we call it the Shovel Museum, the Shovel Collection.
Great. So tell us what we have here.
So Stonehill is actually formed on one of the 11 Ames estates that were created in Easton. The Ames story starts in 1803 when Oliver Ames came to Easton and started a shovel company. And the Ames were involved in the shovel company through the 1950s when they decided to kind of get out of the shovel making business. Stonehill is one of the estates of the Ames family. It's the great-grandson, Lothrop Ames, of old Oliver, who started the shovel company, built what was known as Stonehouse Hill House in around between 1906 and 1908. The mansion house was completed. The Ames family lived here until it was sold in 1935 to the Congregation of Holy Cross, and Stonehill started in 1948. This is known as our silver shovel case, and I always start our tours here with the silver shovels because, again, it is the centerpiece of this lobby. So the Ames family made 60% of the world's shovels in the late 1800s in plants throughout the United States, but again, it was headquartered in Easton. This case was designed by the company in 1876 for the centennial celebration in Philadelphia. It was shipped down to Philadelphia, and these silver shovels were created and on display for the centennial exhibition.
So is this a sampling of the shovels that they originally made?
Yes, so
Okay.
this would have been pretty much a sampling of what they had in 1876.
Okay.
The types of shovels that they would have made in 1876. So the company started in 1803 with who we refer to as Old Oliver, but it was Oliver's father, John Ames, who actually made shovels as part of his blacksmithing business.
Okay.
And it's from there that we kind of see Oliver then deciding, again during the Industrial Revolution, to focus on that one product.
Is there something about the way that they created their shovels that made them stand out from other companies and made them become the 60% of the
60%.
of
So the Ames are known for what we call their bend in the shovel. So this bend right here has been attributed to the Ames family. As a historian, I can't say that they invented it. I do know that they perfected it over years. We have patents where they created handle bending machines and things like that. So we have some very interesting shovels. One which is right here, which has an extra handle on it. We also have one that's on display in our library, which actually is a pickaxe on one end and a shovel blade on the other. So the Ames family, one of the ways they remained competitive or was that they did merge with several people. So you'll see these are some of their advertisement things. This is the typical handle. So this is where you get a wooden D handle. So a wooden D handle. This is known as a wooden D handle.
Okay.
You start with a piece of wood that is then carved into this. In the late 1800s, they started creating what were known as the split D handles. And then took that into creating more what we know as the armor D. Everything's a D.
Okay, because it looks like a D.
The Ames family did military shovels from the days of the Civil War. We don't have any examples of those. Our earliest military shovel comes from World War I.
Okay.
Basically, it was just a mining shovel. When we pulled the regulations for World War I, it's listed as a mining shovel. By World War II, we had basically painted it green. In 1943, there was a new patent that has the typical bending shovel that you see today. This is our Vietnam shovel, where the pickaxe is one. This is from 1968. And this is from the early 2000s, which would have been what you would know as a more modern day shovel.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty much it. Like I said, lots of different shovels. The Ames family is, an amazing, they're still around today. So we still see them, and they support us. And so they were actually here in June for an annual dinner. So, but we are, are lucky, to be on an Ames estate and to be able to preserve the history of the shovel company. So.
Excellent. Ready? One, two, three. How do you know?